Hello again. Uta here with a windflower, my first. They're just coming up. They were planted little corms or bulbs last fall, and I just love this color. I think they come in other colors too, but anyway, that's my artifact of the day from the garden. I'm going to get out there and do my weeding after this. So this is the Heggen Lexicon series. And I just want to go over Dr. Ramani's term uh, called betrayal blindness. And Dr. Ramani is a YouTube psychologist who especially helps people to get away from narcissistic partners. And clearly, cross-sex ideating men are narcissists. Um, it's interesting because on her YouTube channel, Dr. Ramani never mentions them. She's probably afraid of getting canceled or something, but it has been very helpful to me to watch all of her videos, which are usually not too long, on the problems of being in a relationship with a narcissist who really uses their partner for what she calls narcissistic fuel. They need to control you, and you need to validate them at all times. And that really fits into the schema that happens to the partners of cross-dressing men, to the women, the wives of cross-dressing men. Now, I I want to link betrayal blindness to a concept that I've come up with, which is cultivated sexology mystique. Now, the reason that I connect these two is that through the cultivated sexology mystique of the niche sexologist psychologists who diagnose, so-called uh, transgenderism or transsexualism. The terms have changed over the years, and I choose not to use their terms. But they have cultivated a mystique of being these experts, and what they've actually done is just take dictation from men like my ex-husband Nettie, and they've changed the language if those men don't like the language anymore. They don't like the word transsexual, so they changed it to transgender. They invented gender because they don't like to say sex, because we all know that biological sex is immutable. But they've cultivated a mystique. They insist that they have to be the experts on this, and they ignore childhood factors such as physical abuse and sexual abuse, trauma, grief, abandonment, neglect, and that type of thing. And they immediately affirm this concept into this diagnosis, which then requires being medicalized. And I just thought of this because of the interview that was Jordan B. Peterson did on his Jordan B. Peterson YouTube channel with Sarah Stockton, Sarah without an H, Stockton, who is another whistleblower therapist. And she explained how she got to the point where she didn't understand how she, as a therapist, a person who had a PhD in psychology, I think her field was called family and marital something, and which I think actually the psychologist who diagnosed Nettie also had this kind of specialty of marriage and family. But she called herself a sexologist, and I value knowledge of what the human sexual response is and how people who are at a little stall in their intimacy can be helped with information, that is valid. However, this idea that a therapist who is not a doctor can then give you a letter and then you go to some kind of doctor to get hormones and to be on a path to surgeries, both of which have dangers and risks, which are not really well explained, whether it's to a child or to the adults. Now, there's another piece of this involving the fact that the adults don't want child transitioning, so-called, to be challenged because they know that adult transitioning is not very different from transitioning of children. I have to, if anyone wants to write in the comments after you have liked and subscribed, what is that? Why? I think it's fear. They're afraid that everything will fall apart. Anyway, that's something to think about. Time to go outside and enjoy the flowers. Be well always in mind and body.